Hello students, welcome back to math class. This is Miss Kelly. I really hope you're doing great. And let's start with our lesson for today. First, let's do a riddle. What's bright orange with green on top and sound like parrot? Take time to think about this riddle and we will find the answer at the end of the lesson. Keep it in mind. Today we are going to start with a new chapter. Chapter 8. Fractions, Probability, and Measurement. And we will focus on Lesson 8.1, Writing Proper Fractions. Objectives. Students should be able to define fraction, numerator, denominator, and unit fraction as concepts. You will identify a fraction by comparing the number of shaded parts to the number of equal parts. Also, write a fraction using mathematical notation and using words to solve problems. Now, let's begin with the big question. What is a fraction? A fraction is the name that we give to parts of a whole, region, or group. It's one little part of something bigger. A fraction has two parts. The numerator, that means the number of the parts that we have, and the denominator, that is the total parts in a whole. We have different types of fraction, but we will focus on just one for today, the proper fraction. The characteristic of the proper fraction is that the smaller number will always go on top of the dividing line, and the bottom number will always be the larger. If you see that number on top is smaller than the one below, you will know that is a proper fraction. Now, how can we apply fractions in real life? Let's see some examples. Imagine that your family give you $50 to spend on anything that you want. Now, you have to divide those $50 in different parts because you don't want to spend those $50 just in one thing. So you think to yourself, okay, I'm going to divide this $50 in 5 parts. 10, 10, 10, 10, and 10. So I can have $10 for each thing I need to buy. Let's see another example. Let's imagine we're going to Pizza Inn with our friends, and we have to divide the pizza in the amount of friends that we are going to eat. Another example is when we want to bake some cookies. We need to put the exact amount of some ingredients so we can have really good cookies, and for this we need to know how much parts of something or some ingredients we need to put in those cookies. And also, if we have our birthday party and we want to share our cake with our friends or family, we need to know how many people were invited to the party and cut it into pieces as much as we need it to. Can you think of any other example where you have applied these fractions? Let's continue with the fractions that are most used. And for now, these are the ones that we will be applying. Let's start. When we are talking about wholes, we are talking about one part out of one. When we talk about halves, we are saying 1 out of 2. Thirds, 1 out of 3. Fourths, 1 out of 4. Fifths, 1 out of 5. Sixths, 1 out of 6. 7th, 1 out of 7. 8th, 1 out of 8. 9th, 1 out of 9. And 10th, 1 out of 10. Let's check some exercises.
We are going to do 2 examples to know more about fractions, okay? So let's start with the instructions. What fraction of each of the following figures has been shaded? Let's start with number 1. Let's imagine we have a pizza and we divide that pizza in 4 slices. 1 for Dan, another one for John, another one for Junie, and the other one that has not been eaten by Mary. So, since we have to check the shaded parts, let's count. 1 part, 2 part, 3 parts. So we have 3 parts out of 4 parts shaded. And we are going to put it like this. 3 is my numerator because it goes up, and my denominator would be 4. 3, 1, 2, 3 out of 4. Let's go with exercise number 2. We have 3 parts in total. It's not the best circle, but I tried. 3 parts, and how many parts I have shaded? 1 part in purple and 2 part in purple. This means that I have 2 shaded parts out of 3 parts. So I put my numerator, number 2, and my denominator, 3.
Let's practice more. Here we have 6 exercises. Let's start. Number 1, they're asking us to shade 1 part out of 4. In the second one, they are asking to shade 3 parts out of 4. So we shade 3. On the third one, they are asking to shade 5 parts out of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. On the fourth, they are asking us to shade only 2 parts out of 6. On the fifth part, they are asking to shade only 1 out of 2. And on the last exercise, they are asking us to shade 5 out of 8. 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is not my best work, but I'm trying. Now, do you remember the riddle that we were talking about earlier? Well, the answer is carrots. I bet you already knew this because you are that smart. The carrot is green on top and has a bright orange on the bottom, and also rhymes with parrot. Parrot, carrot. Math. Mistakes allow thinking to happen. I really had fun today, and I hope you did as well. Have a good day, and I really miss you. And remember, if you need anything from me, I'm here to help. Goodbye, students.